Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. This is going to be my first video of the year 2024. I hope you guys have a good year. And this is a video that actually should have been out in 2023, but I redid the whole thing because I use a system where every single session, the qualifying, sprint qualifying, and the race, I rank the drivers from first to 20th each and every time, and then the average score they get is where they place in my 2023 ranking. Now, it was the first time I did this for the 2023 season, so I missed some things early in the year. So my rankings didn't look very accurate, so I redid everything, and still there is some surprises because I didn't expect some drivers to be that as low as that it is or as high. Just remember the qualifying is just as important in this ranking as the race. So that's why some drivers are higher or some drivers are lower. And I will try to explain why the drivers are here. Liam Lawson and Daniel Ricciardo and Nick DeVries is going to be in here. So it's going to be a 22 grid ranking, not a 20. So yeah. If you disagree with my video, please let me know what you would have changed. So yeah. Sorry for you guys waiting so long for the 2023 driver ranking, the end of season 1. So yeah, it was a long time since I had to redo everything. As you can see, my room is going through some changes because my girlfriend is moving in. So this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to do this video on this angle. We'll see how we move things. But let's get started with the 2023 ranking. Yeah, last place, 22nd, is going to be Logan Sargent. I don't think there's going to be any surprise there. Logan Sargent was very underwhelming last year, and I don't think he deserves. Well, deserves is a hard word. I don't think he should have stayed in F1. Honestly, I think Williams should have taken a chance maybe on Mick Schumacher or Felipe Dragovic or someone like that. And Logan Sargent, nearly at the end, he maybe had a little bit of a better season, but still he wasn't near near Albon, and he was just out qualified heavily. So yeah, that's why he's so low, because he didn't have a good season at all. 21st is going to be Sergio Perez. Yes, Sergio Perez, in my opinion, had a very bad year. He's the second lowest because in the car that he had, he was fighting Hamilton in a Mercedes. That's the second last race. I've seen a stat that Verstappen has spent more laps in the lead than Perez did spend laps in the top 5 or top 10. I can't even remember. That's just bad. That's just bad. I don't think Perez should be in the Red Bull seat for this year. But Red Bull are big boys. They can do what they want. 20th place is going to be Nick DeVries. He didn't have a good season. I think the hype of him in the 2022 season was just too much. The AlphaTauri and Williams car are very different cars, so maybe he didn't fit with the AlphaTauri car. That can make a lot of sense. But yet again, not a good season. I think it is justified by AlphaTauri for switching him, especially with Ricciardo. They want to put in the Red Bull seat. I don't know how much higher he would have gotten if he stayed a full year. It's hard to tell. Well, it's hard to tell. So that's why he is 20th. 19th is going to be Lance Stroll. Like Perez, he just had a very underwhelming season against a very, very good teammates. Now, he did out-qualify and out-race Alonso a few times, but that was very rare. And he made a lot of mistakes, like the Singapore crash in qualifying. That was just horrible. But still, he had some good races, I think, in the latter stages of the year, especially in Brazil. He did very good. But otherwise, not a good season for Lance Stroll. I think Aston Martin should really think about getting someone else in that seat if they want to fight for a championship. P18 is going to be Zhou Guanyu. Just an underwhelming season from him. I maybe thought he's going to be much better after his first year in F1. But just the average actually less than average season from Zhao. The Hungary qualifying was very good, but then he destroyed his race at the first turn. So yeah, it's just not a lot of ups, more downs, and nothing special from Zhao this year. If I were Alfa Romeo or Sauber, I would have put Théo Pourchaire instead of Zhao in that seat, because I think Théo Pourchaire would have done better. P17 is going to be Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen, I think he did okay, not the best season, especially after 2022, but it's okay. I think Magnussen, I think one more year with Haas, I think maybe if it doesn't improve, then maybe we should call quits. But I think Magnussen is a very good driver. I think he just needs a little bit more time. But 2023 wasn't a good season from him. But I don't think he was that far away from Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg destroyed him in qualifying. But in race pace, I don't think it was that much of a difference. So yeah. P16 is going to be a really controversial one. And one I didn't expect to be here. It's going to be Carlos Sainz. I think Carlos Sainz is this low because Leclerc did out-qualify him a lot. In the last few races, he was just horrible. He did have some very good races like Singapore. Zandvoort was also very good. Australia was good, even though he got the penalty. But still, I think Carlos Sainz actually had a good season. I don't know why he's P16 on the list. I just think the people in front was more consistent than Carlos Sainz, which is weird because I really think he did have a good season. So that's nothing more I could say. There was no bias in this list. I actually love Carlos Sainz very much. So P16 with the way I used to do things. P15 is going to be Nico Hülkenberg. Very good in qualifying. I think he was one of the best. And yeah, in the races, the Haas was just horrible. I don't know what they're going to do to fix it. They just yesterday they fired Gunther Steiner, so maybe some good things will come from that. I don't know, but Nico Hülkenberg, very good in qualifying, surprised me a lot. I don't think he would have destroyed Magnussen the way he did, but he did very good. I think Austria was his best performance indefinitely because that was just amazing what he did in the sprint and the race itself. Well, in the race itself, he had a mechanical failure, which was quite sad. P14 is going to be Valtteri Bottas. I wouldn't say Valtteri Bottas had a better season than Carlos Sainz or Nico Hülkenberg, but in my points system thingy, he actually did quite good. He was consistently ahead of Zhao. In the last few races, in qualifying was a big margin ahead of Zhao, and I think that helped a lot. In the races, he didn't do as much as I thought, but the Sauber was just not good this year. I think the Sauber was actually worse overall than the Haas, but the Haas just ate its tires up badly. And reliability problems also, so that's probably why Haas finished 10th instead of 9th. But yeah, Valtteri Bottas 14th. 13th place is going to be Esteban Ocon. I didn't expect Esteban Ocon to do this bad. Well, he did have a good season. He got a podium at Monaco, but I totally expected him to kick Gasly's ass, especially being in that team for how long has it been? Since 2020. So it's been 4 years, if I'm correct. 2021, 22, 23. Yeah, 4 years, and Gasly has been only at one team. And then the moment he steps in the team, he actually did outperform Ocon. So very underwhelming season from Ocon, not very consistent, but he had some good races and also some bad races, like the first race of the season. B12 is going to be Yuki Tsunoda. Now, Yuki Tsunoda was very good, so I was very shocked because I thought Yuki Tsunoda would be 20th in the standings, and he's going to lose his seat because of his poor performance, but that happened to Nick de Vries. And I think this was his best season by far, and he was just very good. He's probably the lowest of the three because he did the most races. So the averages of Yuki Tsunoda is going to be higher because he did more races than Ricciardo and Lawson. But you'll see where they place on the list. But yeah, I think Yuki Tsunoda, if he beats Ricciardo next year, I think he deserves that Red Bull seat. And he just needs to lose his temper because he had some big quality mistakes. But the last race was very good for him. P11 is going to be Pierre Gasly, just one place away from the point scorers. But Pierre Gasly is my favorite driver at the moment. And he just had such a good season, in my opinion. A very underrated season because he beat Esteban Ocon his first season at Alpine. I know Esteban Ocon had bad luck, but so did Gasly. And his first season, I thought Ocon's going to destroy Gasly, to be honest. But he didn't, and Gasly outperformed him in my standings and in the races itself. He got a podium in the Spa Sprint and at Zandvoort. The Zandvoort run was amazing, but very good quality driving from Pierre Gasly. I really hope he kicks Ocon's ass next year again. P10, our first point scorer, is going to be Liam Lawson, the rookie that stepped into Daniel Ricciardo's seat for 5 races. Like I said, he had 4 quality races and just 1 bad race, in my opinion. And yeah, this is based on average, so the possibility of him doing it better than most of the drivers is very good. But I'm still going to count him because he could have 5 bad races, but he had actually very good races, scoring AlphaTauri's highest point at the 9th place in Singapore. At that moment, it was AlphaTauri's best point score. Most they scored that year. So that's why Liam Lawson is 9th, because he just had such an awesome year. And I'm very shocked not to see him in F1. They should have knocked Perez out and put him in the Red Bull or somewhere, because he deserves to be in F1. P9 is going to be the rookie sensation himself, Oscar Piastri. Now, Oscar Piastri had a very good season. He is one of the reasons why I redid my things, because he was so much higher on this list, because I wasn't thinking about him as a rookie but as a driver. But as a rookie, he was so good. 9th place on this list. It's better than half of the drivers, and he's a rookie. And him and Lawson is the reason why I think Nick de Vries got kicked, because it shouldn't take so long to get used to a car. And that's why I think Logan Sargent also shouldn't be on this list, on the grid this year, because Liam Lawson and Oscar Piastri showed how good they can drive with the car they have. So, out qualifying and outperforming Lando Norris at some points is just crazy. Like, Lando Norris is probably one of the top 5 drivers of the 2020 so far. So yeah, it was just crazy quality driving from Oscar Piastri. Can't wait for him to win his first championship whenever, because he's very good and a very talented driver. P8 is going to be Daniel Ricciardo. Same as Liam Lawson, the average, because he didn't do so much races, the chance of him being high on this list is quite good, because averages, So yeah, Daniel Ricciardo also had very good races. Mexico is a very good standout. Such a good out-qualifying Perez. That should have been the red flag just there. But Daniel Ricciardo also had just 1 or 2 poor races, I think. Hungary or Spa was one of the bad ones. But yeah, quality, like I said with Liam Lawson, he could have had a few bad races, then his average would have been much worse. So yeah, that's why it's P8, and I really hope to see him back in a Red Bull seat. I really do. P7 is going to be Lando Norris. Like I said, the qualifying is very important, and Lando Norris did make a few mistakes in qualifying, and he was out-qualified by a rookie. And with the rookies in F1, they get a head start in their first 6, or the first half of the season. They get it 0.2 seconds advantage, and in the second half of the season they only get a 0.1 second advantage because they are still rookies. So Lando Norris did very good. I think he's a very good driver, but he made a lot of mistakes in qualifying this year, in the last race especially, and in Mexico he didn't set the time. If you don't set the time, you're automatically lost in my list because that means you made a mistake. In the race itself, very good, very quality. He's probably one of the best performers in the race itself. And it's hard for me to put him this low. 7th is low for Lando Norris. In my previous one, it was 3rd or 4th. But yeah, Lando Norris 7th. He was one of my favorite drivers of the year, and I think he's going to be the champion next year. Go watch my predictions if you don't want. If you already know, if you don't know who's going to win the championship. 6th place is going to be Charles Leclerc. Now, I was shocked that Charles Leclerc was in front of Norris, but yeah, actually had a very decent year this year. Made some mistakes, high-profile crashes, but at the end of the season, he was just putting in a good performance after good performance. I still think he should have won the Las Vegas GP if it wasn't for Russell's idiotic dive into Verstappen. So he had a very good season and very underrated in my opinion. Outqualified Carlos by quite a margin, and in the races itself he was very good. So yeah, that's why Charles Leclerc is P6. Our top 5 in our 5th place is going to be George Russell. Now I'm very shocked that George Russell is P5 because I don't think he actually had that good of a season. But then I remember Hamilton is his teammate. They are equal in qualifying. Qualifying is just as important on my rankings as the race. So that, I think, probably helped him quite a lot. In the race itself, he did good at some races, did bad at others, made some big profile mistakes like Canada and Singapore crashing out. But George Russell actually had a not too bad of a season, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know. It's probably worse because he's in a Mercedes, but his teammate is Hamilton, and Hamilton is still a very good driver. P4 is going to be his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton, I think, had one of his best seasons where he did not win a championship. Probably his best season not winning a championship. Except 2008. 7, sorry. But Hamilton finishing 3rd place with that car he had, almost fighting Perez for 2nd. Very good from Lewis Hamilton, and I think he is at his best at the moment. So hopefully next year Mercedes doesn't have a fast car, because otherwise he could win another championship. Yeah, Lewis just had a very good season, very consistent, and not many mistakes. I don't think any mistakes. So yeah. Oh, Qatar, only mistake I can think of. Our first podium sitter is going to be Alex Albon. Now, I think Alex Albon's season went under the radar because he's in a Williams. But he whitewashed Sargent, and with quite a margin, if I can say that. And in the races itself, he was just amazing. Scored so much points for Williams. He's the only reason they are P7 in the standings. And I wish he was in a better car at the moment. I think it would be cool to see him in a better car. But yeah, Alex Albon P3, I think he has championship potential. Yeah, but we'll see what happens next year. If Sargent can be at Albon's level, or is Albon going to run away again. P2 is going to be the old man himself, Fernando Alonso. Now, he's not that old actually, but Fernando Alonso has had a very consistent year, especially the first half of the year. His podiums was just amazing, and yeah, he almost had a win at Monaco, but yeah, he was just fantastic. But Fernando Alonso, hopefully his car is better next year, otherwise I think he will retire. But Fernando Alonso, P2, I don't expect him to do this good in the Aston Martin. I wish Sebastian Vettel was still in that car this year or last year. It would be so cool to see that. but yeah, things happen. And Fernando Alonso is still the GOAT, so yeah. And our first place is going to be Max Verstappen. No one saw that coming. Yeah, he was just amazing this year, out qualifying his teammate substantially, and in the race it was just such another level. I can't even comprehend sometimes how fast he was. So yeah, I really hope this year is going to be much better, competitive wise, because it's going to be a hard year to watch if Verstappen dominates again. And that was my 22 driver ranking. Let me know what I got wrong, what I did right, what do you think I should move. This was a lot of work because I had to do every single race over, and it was so hectic. I'm so tired, and I'm glad I got this video out because it should have been out last year. So yeah, let me know what you think, like and subscribe if you like these kinds of videos, and yeah, I will be doing the 2024 mid-season one again, and this time I will have more experience doing this, so maybe it will be a little bit better, but we'll see. I hope you guys have a good year and a fun day, and enjoy the F1 break. Cheers.